Good evening, friends. Meeting again in the session of philosophy, and we have started discussing about the chapter number 8 from Robert's philosophy. He has tried his level best to explain how a case taking should be, how one should approach toward the case taking, what is important from homeopathic point of view, what is important from allopathic point of view. Our treatment never depends upon the diagnosis, but diagnosis is necessary. Diagnosis is necessary in order to understand the prognosis. Diagnosis is necessary in order to understand the pathogenesis of the disease. Even though it is not useful for therapeutic purpose in homeopathy, still we must know what we are treating. If we know the diagnosis, we can come to the conclusion of the depth of the disorder, and we can think about the miasmatic focus of the remedy of the disease, and as well as to find it out same thing in the remedy. And for that purpose, it is so much necessary to go ahead with the proper case taking. Yesterday, here we have discussed that he explained over there from homeopathic point of view, record keeping plays a very important value. Because if we have record, we can go behind, we can find it out what we have prescribed, what was the ODP, whether the disease is going in a proper direction or whether it is going in wrong direction on according to the Hering's law of direction of cure. All those things we can think on the basis of that, and then it becomes quite easy for us. If we don't have a record, it is as good as what the allopathic practitioner do. The same thing happens with the homeopathy. And that's why it is so much important to keep the record, and we should have the proper forms of case taking so that we cannot miss anything in the case taking. If it is printed form, we can go with each and every detail. It is not needed that it should be mechanical case taking. Wherever the case starts, it starts anywhere. Whenever patient starts giving preliminary data and he explains something and you get the key that he is entering into the mental state. You write down that mental state first and then go to the physicals. It is not needed that you stop the patient talking at that time and tell him that just tell me this. Then it becomes mechanical. So it is not the way, but with the help of form, you can fulfill that at the end of case taking, and that's why it is too much necessary. Then in last paragraph, which we have discussed, is attitude of the physician. How the physician should have his own attitude. Most important thing, he should be himself completely in a mental calm state. He should be a very good listener. If he listens, he can understand the patient. He can perceive the thing. If physician himself is restless, he cannot get the things what he desires. And that's why he has explained over there absolute rest and poise with no preconceived ideas. That is very important. One should not be prejudiced regarding the medicine. If we used to find it out over there, that patient comes, sits in front of you, and he's one of the part of his hairs are gray, and you are thinking patient might be soranum. You start asking regarding the questions in the direction of soranum. This happens many times in such a manner. But if it happens, you miss the remedy, because if you ask the details, it is your duty to ask whether your hairs in that specific part really they are gray. Because there is now fashion that people makes it gray. Previously there was fashion, they makes it black. Now they makes it gray, and so you miss the remedy. You think it might be soranum, but it is not soranum. It is because just he has utilized the fashion over there. So preconceived ideas should not be there, and that's why he explains over there there should not be any prejudices. And then the bias thing, that is, you should not bias. Patient looks like a pulsator, patient looks like a lycopodium. It should not be like that. So this is what we have learned in last lecture. Let us go ahead with next paragraph, what he says. The first thing to note is the patient's name, age, sex, vocation, and if possible, avocation. Then we are often greatly helped by the getting record of the family. That is the age of the parents, their general health, cause of death if they are deceased. This applies to the brothers and sisters also, and we must not neglect to get the picture of the types of elements from which they have suffered. We often get a good picture of hereditary tendency in this way. Find out, if possible, if there is or has been blood relationship between the ancestors. Consanguinity plays an important role or part in the hereditary tendencies as well as in making your prescription like phosphorus. See, this is too important. Why name is important? If we'll go into the details of the case taking, the first important question one should think why it is so much necessary to go into the name. What is the need? If you don't write the name or if you don't understand the name, what will happen? Anything, anyone will going to answer this? If what is the importance of the name? Why name is so much necessary to write it down? Any simple reason?
It is his identity, sir.
Yes, very good. Anything else? If you,
Religion occupy.
yes, yes, yes,
Religion is also there.
yes, you can understand religion. Anything else? Agreed. For avoiding confusion from other patients, very good. If someone calls you by your name and if someone calls you just by some noun, another name, just not using your name, what is the difference? This is so important. This when you call someone with their name, there is a good attachment which you can get with that fellow. There are many, it happens many times. There are many people. I have seen that their memory is very good for names. They never forget the name. And these people I have seen, they go very high in their position when because name is one important thing that gives good attachment with the patient. And if you call him with names, he will going to explain many things. Name plays very vital role. The second important is age. Why age is important? Why it is necessary to ask the age? What is the common answer? Why you ask the age?
Certain diseases are common in certain age groups.
Susceptibility of the disease in case of in young child and old days.
Hmm.
Some diseases are common in young, some diseases are common in old days.
Hmm.
This age will help us to.
Common answer is that you can find it out age-related disorders. That is from
Yes.
where it is a certain disease common in certain age. That's we know. That is from allopathic point of view. It's it's okay. From homeopathic point of view, what is the importance of age? Any simple example?
Vice versa also, sir.
Hmm?
Vice versa also. It might be
Means
uncommon in
yes, uncommon.
certain
Okay. Again,
age group.
what you can draw from it? Yes, very good. But what you can draw from it? If a patient is there who comes to you with a severe pain in his knees and patient age is just 32 and if you clinically examine, they are degenerated. You are getting crackling over there. You ask the patient to go for an X-ray, both the knees in standing position. You find there is absolute degeneration. The femur is directly gliding over the tibia without having meniscus inside. It indicates the syphilitic miasm is dominating. So early, this is not the common for that age. We can think that it might be a syphilitic miasm. Age is very important, which decide, with the help of which you can decide many things. And that's why understanding the age is one of the important factors. Sometimes I have seen one patient, I was considering that she might be a 45, 46. Whole case taking was going on, and somehow I just checked her age. Actually, I have not taken the case. My student, she has taken the case. I was just observing. She was looking 45, 46. And when I went to through the case, I just observed her age is 26 written over there. I confirmed it. What's your age? She said 26. How can it be? She was looking absolutely old. She was obese, very much, and looking like a old woman and everything, all those things. This is too important for us. And for that purpose, exact age is plays very vital role where we can think about many things. So age is one important factor. Sex, why it is so important? Why what you get? What you can draw
In case
from
of
it.
homeopathy,
Hmm?
some medicines are very useful in female patients, some in male. So all medicine are vice versa also. You are using female medicines in male also.
Yes. So sex is not the thing which you have to ask. It is a thing which you have to write it down, just observing. And second important thing, if she is female but she is not behaving like female, if he's a male but he is not behaving like male, it matters a lot. If person who is absolutely mm, talking like a just like a female, his all activities looks like a female, but he's a male. You get a rubric. What is that rubric?
Effeminate, sir,
Yes,
effeminate.
effeminate. That is the rubric. Effeminate. And if exactly vice versa is there, the patient is female.
Masochism.
Hmm? Masochism.
Masochism.
Is there any rubric like that directly? There is one rubric, I think so. It is mannish habits of girls. Mannish. That is the
Yes,
rubric
sir.
for it.
It is there.
Yes, it is
It is there.
mannish habits. So sex is very important to just understand, and you have to correlate whether if female patient is there, whether she has the feminine features properly. If you get that, then you can understand the depth of it. And if you get it that exactly opposite, a male person behaving like a female, effeminate, you can your whole concentration goes with this rubric, and you have to compare the remedies which are mentioned over there. You can think about that. So this is age plays very important role, sex plays very important role. Then comes the occasion. What is occasion?
It is a profession, sir.
Profession, business. What business the person is doing? Website. What is? Why to ask? What is the need? What do you get?
Is he satisfied with his job?
Yes, first important thing, if he is doing the job, whether he is satisfied or not satisfied. If he is satisfied, it's okay. If he is not satisfied, then what is the thing? How the patient makes a rapport? If you ask, so what do you do? Patient says, job. Are you happy with job? No, sir. Actually, I wanted to do a business, but it was not possible. The condition was not there to invest the money. Absolutely. So I have to do a job. And today also I have to do a job. But actually, if you ask me, I never wanted it, but I have to do it. Finished. You get the remedy. You get the very close to the state of the patient. What is the state of the patient? Here only you get the main theme of the case. Another version I will tell you, the patient comes and you ask, questions he is not answering properly, then you ask why you are not answering. Patient says that actually, doctor, I don't want to come to you, but my parents forced me to come over here.
Things taken to opposite to our intention.
Hmm?
Things are taken to opposite to his intention.
Rubric is very important.
Undertake
Undertaking
things
things,
opposite his will.
correct. Undertaking things opposed to her intention. There are two remedies, sepia and phosphorus. There are two remedies mentioned over there, sepia and phosphorus. So you come to the conclusion by just putting properly or taking the case and going into details of it. If patient says, no, doctor, I'm absolutely happy with my um, vocation. I want to do this. Whenever I go to job, I'm absolutely free. Whenever I'm in the house, I'm absolutely stressed. But whenever I'm is there in occupation, yes, I forget everything. All my troubles disappears whenever I'm there. Now, see, you start getting the individuality of that person over there. The rubric is very simple. What is the rubric?
Divergent amyl rates.
It is occupation divergent amyl rates.
Occupation MBA.
Occupation divergent amyl rates. Very clear. So this, see, the preliminary data is so important if you understand it. Don't write down it mechanical. If you
Sir,
write it mechanical,
metaphorically,
hmm?
sir, metaphorically it is dancing emerald. Can we
Which
take
amyl rates?
rubric?
Dancing, no.
Dancing.
If you go metaphorically, you will find your own remedy, not the patient's remedy. Don't go for
Okay, sir.
metaphorical meaning every time. Metaphorical meaning is good in order to show your individuality in while presenting the case. But if you go with metaphorical always, you will fail many times. Don't go for metaphorical. See the state and take it as it is, then it makes the difference. So if you go with metaphorical, many times you leave the track, and that should not happen.
Okay,
Every
sir.
time you
Okay,
should
sir.
not go for metaphorical meaning. So vocation, you should not just ask, what do you do? Then you understand whether patient's complaints are related with his vocation. If they are so, then you have to find it out. Is there any maintaining cause which is affecting the patient? So see, preliminary data, we have discussed only 4 points, and there is many things, there are many things with which you can catch the individuality of the person. Then he says, then we are often greatly helped by getting record of the family history. Very important. So question should be proper. How many members are there in your family at present? And is there any disorder for them, or whether they are suffering from any disorder? What do you get? It is one point is this hereditary tendencies. From modern science point of view, yes, it is called as hereditary tendency. From our point of view, it is different. We have to find it out, miasmatic influence. We require we have to understand miasmatic focus. For that purpose, family history plays a very vital role. You can easily catch if there is a history of tuberculosis in the family. On one side, there is a history of cancer on another side. From maternal side, if there is a history of tuberculosis. From the paternal side, there is a history of cancer. You are coming to the conclusion, the patient is born with those traits. That is more important. Patient is in psychosyphilitic state. You catch that. For that purpose, it is necessary. It is not just necessary for the purpose of getting hereditary tendencies, last or past generation has diabetes, today we have diabetes. It's not like that. It's not transmitted as it is. If past generation has diabetes, this it means the tubercular miasm or psychotubercular miasm is there in past family history. It might develop any type of psychotubercular disease in this generation. It is not the same disease getting transmitted over there. And that's what we have to understand. So he is explaining over there very clearly about this. So then we are often greatly helped by getting the record of the family, that is the age of the parents, their general health and cause of death if they are deceased. This applies to the brothers and sisters also. We must not neglect get a picture of types of elements from which they have suffered. So in order to understand this process that is necessary, we often get good picture of hereditary tendency in this way. Find out, if possible, if there is or has been blood relationship between the ancestors. Why? Because we find it out that if there is a marriage which is called as co-sanguineous marriage between the relationship, there is a lot of chances they might develop congenital disorders. This is very common. That's why consanguinity plays always an important part in the hereditary tendencies as well as in making your prescription. And he has mentioned one just phosphorus, but it is not, you should not fixed with the remedy, phosphorus. There are many more. So this is one thing. Now he says in next paragraph, now we are ready to proceed with the record of the patient himself. Let us begin to record his past illnesses. What illness has he had? How about his recovery from the each illness? Particularly note whether he reports himself as fully recovering from the illness or whether he says he has not been well since any particular illness. So whenever you are dealing with the patient, you ask regarding the past history. If you want to ask the question, very simple question is that what are the diseases with which you have suffered since childhood till today? लहानपणापासून आतापर्यंत काय काय आजार झाले? Which are the disorders which you had in the past, right from childhood till today? So they comes in sequence. If you put a proper question, then they comes in sequence. Second important thing, he said whether the patient has recovered completely from the past illness or not. If it is so, then it's good. But if he has not recovered, the patient tells he's never been well since. And this sentence comes in our material medical. Never been well since puberty. Which is the remedy? Never been well since.
Sir, sulfur and carbamide is also there.
It is correct. Kavale madam, she has told pulsatilla. It's a clear cut. Pulsatilla is the remedy. So you can get those things. You can understand those things properly. And that's why it is so much necessary to ask about it. And then he starts. Now ask the patient to tell you in his own words how he become ill and exactly how he feels. Simple question, but very important for us. What do you feel? How do you become ill? What is patient's understanding regarding his illness? How the disease has started? And what is the impact of that disease on him? Two important, very important questions. When you have to start with the case taking and chip companies, you ask what's your problem and how it has been started. What the patient narrates is very important. Every patient talks in different sense. He tries to explain reasoning. Some patient, they just tells you, yes, doctor, I am having this. I don't know how it has started. Another patient says, doctor, what I feel, this starts like, what I feel, this is the way with which they start. I feel means they are telling their own stories. They are telling their own theories. Theorizing. You get, person is theorizing. But don't make it immediately on first sentence. But just put the question whether it is theorizing. Throughout the case taking, if he talks like that, yes, definitely the rubric is theorizing. So your question should be a proper one. So get the answers properly. I generally ask, what is the, if patient is suffering from grave disorder, I used to ask, what is the impact of the disease on you? If patient is cancer, what do you feel? What do you feel? Because here you touch his emotions. Then patient starts narrating and he gives you many things which are visualizing for him. Every person talks it in a different manner. Every person explains it in a different manner. And that's what is so important. So exactly, and what is it? How he become ill and exactly how he feels. What is his feeling about his disease? Feeling is the explanation of his inner mind. What he feels. It is too important. That gives you an visuality. So many things we have to learn in this. Today we have finished only 1 or 2 paragraphs. This is a big chapter for us because we're going to learn all such simple things, but which are necessary in case taking. I think we'll stop over here and we'll start with it again on Monday. So that's all for today. We'll meet again on Monday with the continuation of the same thing. And today evening we're going to learn one more remedy. Remedy is hyoscyamus niger. Wonderful remedy for that. So thank you being there. Meet again at 8:15 with the hyoscyamus niger. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening.
Okay. Good evening.